Hello everyone. Yes, this is that time of the year again, the tax season, when many organizations organize tax clinic to help people file their taxes. However, due to coronavirus pandemic, such tax clinics are either postponed or cancelled this year. Therefore, I am making this video to help you to file taxes for free if you are a student. The Canadian Federation of Students, also known as CFS, negotiated with UFile to offer students free online tax filing. UFile.ca is one of Canada's leading online tax filing services. Although the service starts at Canadian dollar 15.95 per use, members of the Federation are provided with a code to access ufile.ca for free all year round. Students can use ufile.ca to file taxes for their spouses, partners, or dependents. The service is also available in French at import-export.ca. We will be using English version to file tax this year. This year, the special code offer is CFS 1981. The details can be found at this website. To be eligible for this special offer, you must be a resident of Canada, have tuition fees, and have attended school for at least 1 month during the tax year being prepared. You must also be designated as the family head or the primary member of the family for purposes of your tax file in UFile. Now, if you have not filed your taxes before, you might have heard that it is very difficult to file taxes. On the contrary, I will show you filing your taxes has never been this easy. The UFile interface is very clean, straightforward, and easy to navigate, and you can file online from anywhere, as long as you have internet, of course. There is a questionnaire that helps you and will ask you which forms you are going to need and guides you throughout the procedure. So, one thing to consider is that if you have a complicated tax situation, then it might be a good idea to seek experts' advice before filing your taxes. For example, a good CPA or someone who does it professionally, who might be able to save you more money. For most people, the tax situation is very simple and straightforward. The first thing that you need to consider is to make sure to have all your tax slips ready. If you don't have these forms with you yet, I would suggest you to talk with your HR. UFile has a quite handy questionnaire which will ask you what forms you might need. Some of the most common slips are T4, T5, T4A, T2202A. T4 is a tax slip which you will receive from your employer, which breaks down your employment income with all the taxes related to that. Then there is T5, which relates to your investment income. T3, if you have invested in a mutual fund outside of a registered account. T2202A, which relates to your tuition if you are enrolled in a school and paying tuition. These are some of the most common tax slips that most people will have. You can also have all your receipts with you, for example, medical expenses, RRSP contributions, etc. One common question that I often get asked is, how can I claim transit passes? Unfortunately, we can't claim them anymore. There are other receipts that you can see in the list later, which you can add or remove based on your personal situation. But I am not going to go through each of them for time's sake. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Once you have all your documents handy, you can go ahead and start the filing process. The first thing that you would need to do is create a UFile account. For this, you will need to go to ufile.ca. Then press Start for free. It will ask you if you already have an account. I am going to show or I am going to assume that you don't have an account, so I will create a new account. I will put a username, GSA Association, a random password. I will re-enter password, a fake email for this purpose. I will rewrite that email. I don't want to receive any newsletter. I agree with the terms and condition, and of course I am not a robot. I will press apply. It asks me if I have a secondary email. I don't want to provide any secondary email as this is not mandatory. I will add a security question, maybe best friend from school. I will just write A, B, C, D. And now I'm going to start. Okay. So I'm going to assume that this is the first year that you are filing your taxes. If you have filed taxes previously through UFile, you will have other years tax file documents below. So I will select 2019 and press go. Then press launch, and I'm going to start now on a new tax file. I'm not importing anything right now. Okay, so as you can see above, there's like start, then interview, review, tax return, and net file tab. We already went through this step. Now we are going through interview. So you can see this is the family head. So you are the primary applicant. If you want to file along with your spouse, you will need to add a spouse. If you have children or dependents, you will have to create file for dependents as well. Now these are tabs which we need to fill out as we go through the process. So we will go one by one. So the first tab is identification, and we will fill these out. So designation is Mr. and first name is GSA, last name is Association. I will just provide a SIN number. This SIN number doesn't relate to anyone, so just don't worry about that. I will just provide something as a date of birth. Okay, and then province of residence on December 31, 2019. It means where were you when where you lived last year. So this just means where you lived last year. So I was in Saskatchewan. My marital status is married. If you are single, just write single. Common law is common law, and other steps based on your profile. I will just write married. And did your marital status change? No change. If it changed, you press change, and then it will ask you when you got married or what happened. Gender, it's not mandatory. You just provide male and then press next. And then it will ask you if you want to provide complete information. I would say yes, I want to provide complete information. Next, and then we went to the apartment or your mailing. Then it will ask you about your mailing address. Just fill this up. I'll provide Saskatchewan. I would recommend you to fill these all up. And then next, language of correspondence is English for me. If you want French, you can select French from here. Are you filing an income tax return with the CRA for the very first time? I'm assuming that we are filing it for the first time. Yes. Did you own foreign property in 2019 with the total cost? I am poor. No. Did you sell a principal residence? No. Are you an officer or servant? No. Such a diplomat? No. Do you have a Canadian citizenship? No. Supplement for residents of small and rural communities? If you are in Saskatoon, press Saskatoon. If you are somewhere else, press that. Email notification from CRA. I would suggest you type your email and go paperless. Okay. Then it will ask you, will you be using NetFile to submit your federal return electronically? We will say yes. We want to file electronically. Yes, if eligible. CRA prior returns. We are not filing prior year federal return. No. Next. Then if you want to use autofill my return in this file, that means if you had filed in previous years, the CRA has your information, and UFile will automatically import those information from CRA, and it will help you to file your income tax. I am assuming we don't have we have not filed. I am assuming we have not filed taxes in previous years in Canada, so I will just leave it for now. Press next. It will say the notice of assessment. Do you want to have it immediately available after filing a return? I would say yes, and then press next. So this is the interview setup. This is very important step. Now you can see about different situations. It will vary from person to person. Specific situation, employment and other benefits, pension, rental income, investment income and expenses, self-employment, student, common tax deductions, parents and children, installments and tax transfer, other topics, carry forward amounts and prior year information. So I am going to assume a typical student who is married, who does not have a child or dependent, and who is receiving scholarship as well as getting paid as a research assistant through the university. For a typical student, I would say he or she will be receiving T4. They might have some union or professional dues. I'm not claiming that right now, but if you want, you can take it up. Then T4A, which is the scholarship income. T4 is like research assistant, and T4A is if you are receiving any scholarship through the university or through different organization. Then rental property income, I am assuming most students will not have that. Interest, investment, if you have any savings account, you will have T5, and if you have mutual funds, if you have invested in a mutual fund, you will have T3, and I don't think most students will have these, so I'm just leaving those out. Self-employment, most students will not be self-employed. Students will have tuition, education, student loans, so I will take that. If you have medical expenses, take this. I'm assuming we don't have anything like that, so I'm removing that. And then RRSP, if you have contributed to RRSP, I don't think most students contribute to that, so I will take that off. If you have, take that on. If you have childcare, if you fall into any of this category, take those up. Okay, so I will just click next. So you can see uh, after you check the boxes or uncheck the boxes, this gets updated. Okay, now we will go to T4 and employment income, and since we have T4 slips, I will press plus. Okay, so these are the boxes that we need to fill based on our T4 slip. Now I am going to show you a typical T4 slip. So this is a typical T4 slip. You can see there will be an employer name over there. There will be a SIN number of yours, and there are like different boxes with a number over here with num. So there are boxes with numbers on the side. Similar boxes over here, right? So 14, 10, 16, 18. So type any number that you have over here. So this is another T4 form of a certain person, and you can see there is some number beside the box number, and we are going to fill these up into our account, and we are going to fill this number into our account. So in box 14 there will be 35,000. In box 22 there is 4791. Then box 16 we have 1559.25. Then box 24 we have 35,000. And then box 18 should be here, 570.50. So this is all that we have in this T4. So we are leaving the ones which are empty as empty. We are not going to fill those out. So whatever box has information in your T4, you will just enter that information and leave the remaining as blank. This is very important. And then we are going to press next, and we are going to see if we have any of these. T4A old age statement, we will press next. Okay, so as I said earlier, if you have invested in mutual funds, you will have T3 or these kind of slips, or investment income, then you will have T5 slips. I am assuming we don't have those, so I am just pressing next. Okay, so now we are going to this column. This is T4A. So we will press T4A. This is for scholarship. So if you are receiving any scholarship from the university, you will be having a T4A slip as well. So type your employer name over here. T4A was issued by someone. Dun, 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 dun. T4 was, type your employer name. If the employer was some university, uni of nowhere, then similarly, whichever box you have, you will need to fill those. In most of the student case, these boxes will be empty. You will just need to put here like scholarship, bursaries, and fellowship. If you have other numbers, just pick those up and type those over here. Okay. If you want something else, just put here and then type here. Similarly, I will press next. I don't have any information to input over here. I will press next again, and then even in other income, I don't have any other income. I'm going to press next. Okay. Information from other T slips, RC210, I don't have anything like that. I will press next. And then this is tuition and enrollment certificate. I do have those. I will press add. Okay. So enter description in the first field. It will be tuition, and then you will have an amount in 26. So a typical tuition enrollment certificate looks like this. and you can see here that there is a box 26. You will have certain amount over here. If you are a full-time student, you will have a month number over here. If you were a part-time student, you will have a number over here. So 24 amount is here, 25 amount is here, 26 amount is here. Okay, so we will need to input those numbers over here. So I am again assuming over here that the student was full-time for a full year and he paid uh, tuition about 12,000. Okay, and then I'm assuming that he was a full-time student and worked like 12 months. So that is, and he worked for 12 months. So I will input 12 over here. Full-time post-secondary. This will be empty, and I will press next. I don't have any prior year information, so I will just press next. One thing to note is that you will see the special offer tab appeared here. It is because once we input tuition tab, and the UFile automatically knows that we were a full-time student or part-time student, and being a student, UFile can be free if we input a special code that is CFS 1981. I will press next. I will press next. Okay, so in this one, MaxBack will automatically make decisions to lower taxes payable and maximize the total refund for your family. These options allow you to control how MaxBack works. How do you wish to handle the transferable deductions and credibility? I will just leave these to default. Based on your situation, you can choose any options. Then it says it's for free for students, and the information about UFile is provided. So now we are on the page special offer, and it says free for students special offer, and it says UFile.ca together with the Canadian Federation of Students CFS is pleased to offer a special promotion that lets students prepare and file their 2019 tax returns free of charge. To take advantage of this special offer, get your UFile or CFS code from the Canadian Federation of Students website and copy it below. So I'm going to go to this link. It says ufile.ca tips and tools file for free. If you see here, there are many details. I would recommend you to read this, and this is the code that we are going to use, CFS 1981. Okay, I'll just paste. I'll press next. Okay, so it says end of interview. So this interview is end for me, right? So if I want to add my spouse, I will just press add. Okay, and similarly I will add all the information about my spouse like I did for myself. So once I go to interview setup, it will again ask me what kind of form or slips that I want to add. I will tick those, I will go through the tabs, and then I will press next. Once I am done with that, I will go to review tab, where it says unable to calculate the return, please fix the errors. So once you press on the error, it will say what kind of error there are. So it says not a valid SIN number. I input a wrong SIN number, right? So it was a false SIN number, that's why it's showing me an error. If you find any error in your case, just click there and try to see what kind of error that is. If you have specific questions, you can always feel free to comment down or email me directly. I will try to resolve the problem or give you suggestions. Once everything is done correctly, you will be going to next. Okay, and then you will be able to see the summary. Press tax return, and then you will be able to print your tax return file. So it will be a huge file. Go through it, skim through it, Read it carefully to see what kind of breakdown the software provided you. Then press on Net File, where you will be able to submit it electronically to CRA. So over here you will find a button which will ask you if you want to submit it electronically. You will have to press yes, and then you can submit it electronically. Then CRA will calculate. Then CRA will receive your document and do further processing. If you are a new student, if you are a new migrant in Canada, there is a possibility that you won't be able to submit it electronically. In that case, you will have to print the document and submit it through mail. I will be providing the mailing address below in the description section. If you have any further questions, feel free to comment down. I will get back to you. So this is it, guys. We filed our taxes by ourselves. Now we can help others in our community to file taxes. See you later. Take care.